I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
How many times have you been asked to help someone you didn't even know?
Hello.
A student, a business
Dr. Linda
entrepreneur? Or did you ever even ask, where did they end up? That business, that friend, that entrepreneur. Well, just maybe they ended up in a gang, bankrupt, homeless, or worse, dead. Maybe they turned to crime, drugs, and alcohol. Did you ever wonder? Did you destroy their dream, or was your life always so easy? At the Black Business Olympics, we started a movement to help students complete. Give them hope and foster success. Help them to leave their dreams of providing laptops, computers, and up to $5,000 in scholarship funds. Today, we ask you to help a student, a business owner, or an entrepreneur to realize their dream by sponsoring them, supporting them, and buying from them. Consider this. With $1.6 trillion in our Black community, we only ask for a small donation for our students, our businesses, and our entrepreneurs. And you can change a life today. So I ask you, what are you going to do? Sit on the sideline and watch our students in high school be losers, miss out on their dream from lack of resources? Or are you going to donate to the movement and change their future and yours as well? Give us a call today at 919-308-9090. Change their life by investing with action to the Black Business Olympic Fund. The Black Business Olympics, one of the largest business showcases of Black business in the history of the world.
Dr. Linda Mitchelle, and good evening. Welcome to Black Business Network. And tonight, I am going to be your guest. I am talking about self-love this evening, and I'm so grateful to Dr. Eric Kelly III for inviting me to the show. I'm a holistic health coach, doctor in theology, and I have a double master's in Christian education. What does that mean? What it means is I inspire others to live their happiest and healthiest lifestyle by first doing it myself. As a holistic health coach, I work with women, men, families on loving themselves from the inside out, self-care and self-love. So tonight, I'm going to talk about some self-care and self-love ideas that you can do to help level up. Take your self-love and your self-care to the next level. And I'm excited to be able to talk about that because it's my passion. It's how I live, it's how I eat, it's how I breathe. Everything I do is to inspire self love for myself first, put my oxygen mask on first, and then to inspire you, others, to do the same. So, one of the things that I did was I wrote a journal, and my journal is called Girl, Get Your Self Care On. I actually have 6 journals now, but this journal is all about self love and self care, and you taking care of yourself and mastering and practicing the art of taking care of you. So, tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about what self love and self care means to me and how I can inspire you to level up and do a better job of taking care of yourself. And I'm going to give you 8 tips on things that you can do, especially as the holidays are coming. You're going to have family around, people are going to be coming to your home, or you're going to be going to their home. You want to fill your oxygen tank up before you go and be around family for an extended period of time, because sometimes family can push those buttons. You know what I'm saying? And the more full your tank is, the more you know the more time you've taken to put your oxygen mask on and practice self-care, the less triggered you'll be around family. So let's get into it. Okay, so I got some notes. So if you see me looking down, I want to make sure I give you the best value ever. So I don't want to miss anything. So I define self-love as what you think about yourself. So what does that mean? When you look in the mirror, right? What do you see? Right? What do you say about yourself? What are your thoughts about yourself on a regular basis? Are you repeating the thoughts that you've heard growing up as a child? Maybe as a child, some of the kids teased you, right? Or said, that you had a big head or, big lips, right? Are you still saying those things to yourself today? So one of the things that I encourage my clients to do as we start talking about self-love is start paying attention to your thoughts. What are you saying about yourself? And how are you encouraging yourself on a daily basis? We're not our thoughts. And there are a lot of thoughts that we have from other people that have put those thoughts in our head. And as adults, we have the option, right? And it takes practice to change those thoughts, right? Because your self-love starts with your thoughts. What do you believe about yourself? Do you believe that you're brilliant? Do you believe that you're intelligent? Do you believe that you're artistic and creative? What are your beliefs? Ask yourself and take some time to really be with yourself to figure out what's going on in your head, because you are not those negative thoughts that you're thinking about yourself. And we all have them, okay? I had negative thoughts. I had to learn to start paying attention to them and changing those thoughts, because they were thoughts, where did they come from, right? Like I said, your childhood, your bullies, maybe somebody bullied you, maybe your siblings, right? Your parents said things to you, right? We're all beautiful people, and God made us great, and He made us beautiful. And as we go into the years and we grow up, what happens is we start listening to what other people say to us, right? To discourage us, right? Or to get us thinking negative about ourselves, because a lot of times misery loves company. So if somebody doesn't feel good about themselves, a lot of times they're going to try to make you feel good about you, right? But one of the things that I've learned as a coach, because I had to go through my process as a coach and clean up my stuff before I could coach someone else, is that your self-love talk is up to you. And it's up to you to change it and to be conscious of it and to pay attention. When is the last time that you looked into your eyes and said, I love you? When was the last time that you looked at yourself and just said to yourself, I love you. I love your smile. You're beautiful, right? Or I love my eyes. They're beautiful. I love my nose. When was the last time that you just gave yourself a compliment or encouraged yourself? One of the things that I've learned is that I've got to encourage myself. I am my biggest cheerleader because if I'm not going to encourage myself, who can I expect to encourage me? Right? So you have to learn. It's not something that we're taught maybe as a child. It's not something that we're encouraged to do, right? As a teenager, right? It's not something that we are skilled at as a young adult. But what's great about it is that you can learn. You can learn how to love yourself. You can learn how to change the language that you speak to yourself internally, because what you're saying internally is being reflected out externally. The way people are showing up in your world and the way people are treating you is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And you have a choice. You have a choice. And, one of the things that I had to learn when I was growing up, I wanted to be held more. I wanted my mom and my siblings to, just give me more hugs, right? But my family wasn't a hugging family. I was a lap child. So I was passed from lap to lap to lap, being number 7 out of 8. And so I had to learn how to hug myself. And I had to surround myself with people that liked hugging, because that to me was self-love. That to me was what I desired. And that to me was something that I had to create in my life. Just because I didn't get it when I was younger didn't mean I couldn't get it now. And so I'm a hugger. I give what I choose to receive. So I give a lot of hugs. So I meet somebody, I say, I'm a hugger. Is it okay if I give you a hug? And for me, that makes me feel good. A lot of times you'd be surprised if you give somebody a smile or a hug, how you can really change their day. So allowing yourself to figure out what's going on in your head, and talking to yourself in the mirror and saying to yourself how beautiful you are, right? How beautiful your eyes are, how beautiful your smile is, right? How beautiful, how smart, how intelligent you are. The brilliant ideas that come up is a form of self-love and self-care. So what's the difference between self-love and self-care? Now, this is my opinion, and my opinion on what the difference between self-love and self-care. Self-love are the things that you're saying to yourself in your head. It's the things that you believe about yourself that nobody knows, or maybe that you don't want them to know, right? You might appear to be confident in front of other people, but really on the inside, you're an introvert. Really on the inside, you don't feel as confident maybe when you're alone. Maybe you don't like being alone. It doesn't cause you to feel as confident about yourself because you feel lonely. So self-love are the things that you're saying to yourself in your mind and that you believe about yourself. Self-care is how you care for yourself. The things that you do to make sure that your well-being is at its best. I'll give you an example. For me, my self-care are weekly, and if not daily, because sometimes I get busy, baths. I love taking baths and putting different concoctions in my bath water, Epsom salt and baking soda and lavender buds and chamomile buds and rose petals, things that float around me and just inspire me to be and feel my absolute best. Did you know that sea salt is one of the best things you can put in your bath water? It helps to get rid of the aches and pains that your body might be feeling after a long day's work. 1 cup of sea salt can really take you to a whole nother level in your bath water. Yeah. And then add a cup of Epsom salt to that as well. It'll make a complete difference in that bath water. So self-care are the things that you do for you, right? How you care for yourself. It's more action-based. And so my question to you is, how are you doing with your self-love? How are you doing with your self-care? You have to be conscious and deliberate about these things, because one of the biggest things that people are demanding from you in this world with this internet and social media is your time. And if you don't put yourself on your to-do list, and if you don't allow yourself to be full and to have your oxygen mask on, what's the first thing they tell you to do if the plane is going down? Put your oxygen mask on first before you put your child's oxygen mask on, because you can't help them, right? If the plane's going down, if you can't breathe, it's the same thing in the real world, right? You've got to take care of yourself so you can give from overflow. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote this journal. Girl, get your self-care on, because as women, a lot of times, I don't know where we got this from, but a lot of times we put other people in front of us. Yeah. We'll put the kids first. We'll put our mom first. We'll put the husband first. We'll put our job first and make sure we got that pristine, clean record at work, and we got that A+ report card at work, right? We'll put our best girlfriend in front of us before we put ourselves first. I don't know where we got that from, but it has to change. Because in order for you to give your best and to be your best, you have to be full. You have to listen to your self-love language. Listen to your self-care language. What are you doing? What actions are you taking to take care of you? And you know how you tell how you're doing? I'm going to give you 8 tips. I'm going to recommend some things, but I'm going to tell you first. How do you tell if your self-care and your self-love radar is a little low? How do you tell? You can tell by the way you feel. Just ask yourself, how do I feel? Do I feel tired? Do I feel fatigued? Do I feel bothered or agitated? Do I feel grouchy? Or maybe a little cranky today or moody? Typically, if you're feeling those ways, one of those ways, it means that you need to take some time to just stop and practice some self-care. And pay attention to your thoughts, the things that you're thinking about yourself, right? Maybe you didn't get all the things done today that you wanted to get done, and you're just feeling a little hard on yourself. You have to learn to practice self-compassion, okay? Nobody is perfect. None of us on this earth are perfect. We all do the best that we can do on a daily basis, right? And one of the best ways of doing and being your best is to make sure that your self-love is positive. Your self-care is the actions that you're taking are positive, or things that are filling you up. You have to know and you have to understand what brings you joy, what makes you happy. When is the last time you took a day off and slept in and just took some time to do what you wanted to do that day for yourself? Why? Because you're worthy. Yes, you're worthy. And I don't know if you had anybody telling you that when you were younger, but somebody needs to hear that tonight. And I'm here to tell you that you are worthy. Even if no one's ever told you that, you have to believe that. You have to learn to believe that. And then you have to exercise the behaviors and the thoughts that align with that. How do you do that? You take it one day at a time. And you say to yourself, today, I'm going to love myself just a little bit more. And just start by looking in that mirror, looking yourself in your eyes, and saying something positive to yourself. I have a beautiful smile. I have beautiful eyes. I'm so smart. I always figure things out. Whatever it is that you know that you're good at, look yourself in the eyes and tell yourself that. Yes, that's self-love. Self-care, a lot of women, we go get manicures, we go get pedicures on the regular. What about trying something that you haven't done in a long time. Maybe you haven't gone to get a massage in a while, right? Maybe you need some reflexology. There's nothing like a good calf and foot rub, right? Go to your massage therapist and just tell them you want your calves and you want your feet rubbed for 30 minutes. We walk on our feet all the time, but how often we take a moment to acknowledge our feet and just give them some extra attention because they've carried us all over this world, all the days that we've been walking, right? So just think about over the next days or so, as you go into your days, pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to the actions that you're taking. Are you drinking enough water on a daily basis? Our body needs water. It needs water to move the vitamins and the minerals and all the good stuff around and to move the waste out. And if you're dehydrated, that means things are not moving through your body. Your brain needs water. A lot of times we think that we are hungry when we're really thirsty. Try the next time you think you're hungry, drink an 8-ounce glass of water instead of eating and see if that quenches your thirst. Right? That's true self-care, checking in with yourself to figure out what's going on with me. What do I need? What would make me happy right now? What would help me to be my best right now? And it takes practice. And that's the great thing about Girl Get Your Self-Care On, because this journal helps you to write down a list of 7 things every day that you're going to do for yourself. And I wrote it because I found myself getting so busy, I had stopped putting myself on my own checklist. I had stopped doing the things that brought me joy, taking my baths. I started taking showers instead of baths. When my baths bring me so much joy, I just found myself not feeling like myself, right? Because I wasn't taking the time to do something that brought me happy, brought me joy, brought me happiness, right? And so with the Girl Get Your Self-Care journal, when you write 7 things down every morning, or you can do it the night before, that you're going to do that next day if you do it the night before, or that day if you do it that morning, it's amazing how it can change your life. Your list might look like, today I'm going to drink 32 ounces of water. I'm going to floss my teeth twice today, because flossing makes it so I don't have to get dentures at a later date, right? I'm going to exercise and make sure I do 10,000 steps today, right? Or how about your vitamins? Just putting down that I'm going to make sure that I take all of my vitamins and my supplements today, right? You can even put on your list, today, I'm going to practice more self-love in my thoughts, and I'm going to pay attention to what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And when I find myself thinking negative thoughts about myself, I'm going to change those thoughts to positive thoughts. Just being conscious of that will help you to practice better self-love. And what about putting some action steps down to do things that maybe you haven't done in a very long time, taking a nice long walk in nature or a walk on the beach. I live 5 minutes from the beach. I try to get over to that beach as often as I can and walk for 2 hours in the morning with my feet in the sand, because it helps me to feel grounded and ready for the day. That's my time, right? And sometimes you might have to get up a little bit earlier to practice your self-care because you have family to take care of, right? You can get up half an hour or an hour earlier before the kids get up, before your husband gets up. And if you're a care provider and you care for your elderly parents or maybe a sick sibling or a family member, you can wake up before they get up, right? And practice some self-care. So by the time they wake up, what have you done? You've taken some time to fill up your tank. There's nothing wrong with taking a bath at 5 in the morning, a nice long bubble bath to fill your tank, or going to the dollar store and getting a nice big bin So you can soak your feet and putting some really warm water in there with some Epsom salt and some sea salt and soaking your feet in the morning before you start your day. If you really, really take the time to think about what self-care and self-love is to you, you'll learn a lot about yourself that maybe you didn't know, or maybe you haven't taken the time to know. Because what happens is when you start taking better care of yourself and practicing more self-care and more self-love, you find things out about yourself that maybe you didn't know, or maybe you have never had a chance to know. Like for me, I love going to the place where they do the clay. They put the clay on the little wheel and spin that clay and make some whatever it turns out to be. And I don't consider myself an artist when it comes to doing that. I just enjoy it. I love the way the clay feels as it's spinning on the wheel, and I never thought I would enjoy something like that. And then painting it, and then they put it in the oven, and I come back a couple days later, and I get to see my own art. Another thing they have these days is you can go to a paint and sip where you can paint a beautiful picture that they've put out. They want you to emulate it and do the best job of painting what they put up, and drink some wine or some tea while you're doing that. That is just so relaxing. Or how about grounding? Grounding is another way. I don't know if a lot of people know what grounding is, but grounding is when you go out in the grass, you take your shoes off, take your socks off, and you put your bare feet in the grass. You put your bare feet in the sand, not concrete. It needs to be grass or sand, or you can even do it in dirt. And the purpose is, if you're a thinker and you do a lot of thinking, you're always in your head, is to ground yourself, right? To pull those thoughts down into your heart and just take a break, take a couple deep breaths, and give your brain a break. I go out in my front yard with my husband often, and we stand in the front yard together and we ground bare feet, and we also pray. And it's a great practice to bring us back together as a couple, but also to recenter us, for us to remember how blessed we are, right? And the blessings that surround us. And so grounding is a great way to do that. We do it for 15 minutes, our feet in the grass or the feet in the sand, and just do the best you can to just focus on your breathing and try not to think about things, especially things that trouble you or bother you. Just let those thoughts go to the wayside. So I want to take a few moments and I want to talk about some easy self-care routines that you can do, some ideas, right, to inspire you. I know I've given you a few, but I want to talk to you about just a few more ideas that will inspire you to be your best as you take your self-care and self-love game to the next level. So the first thing, I've already talked about drinking more water. And I talked about the fact that the water that you need is really important to your body. Okay, I've already talked about sometimes you think you're hungry when you're really dehydrated and you're thirsty. So I just want to encourage you to maybe drink one more bottle of water than you normally drink over the next week and just see how you feel. Okay, typically when you start drinking water, what happens is you will have to go to the bathroom more. Yes, that's going to happen. But after a period of time, your body gets used to that water and you'll see that you'll start going to the bathroom less. Okay, so that's one of the things that I'm going to suggest is that you just take your water level up to the next level. I'm not going to tell you to drink 8 bottles of water tomorrow if you're drinking 1. That makes no sense. You have to take small, incremental steps to improve your self-care and your self-love, because what happens is When people tell you to do things that are way on the other side, or the totally other side and spectrum of what you're already doing, you don't do anything. You just keep doing what you're doing. So I just want to encourage you, just drink a little bit more water than you normally do. If you can, and if you don't like the taste of water, squeeze a little bit of lemon in your water. Squeeze a little bit of lime in your water. Give it a little bit of flavor, because these are two things that'll help detox your colon, and it'll make the water taste better. You can also drop a couple blueberries. You got to squeeze them and drop them into the water, in your water. Make some blueberry water. Yes, you can do that. Make some strawberry water, but you got to mush the strawberries up. The goal is to give your water a little bit of flavor. Orange is another thing that you can squeeze into your water. Citrus fruits normally go really good with making your water taste just a little bit better, so you can get it down. But at the same time, you're going to give yourself a nice little detox with that lemon and lime that you put in that water to help you get it down. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to encourage you to do is I want you to move your body just a little bit more. So maybe you're not moving a lot right now, that you're in front of the TV a lot, and it's sports season, football's on right now, right? Basketball, I think, is just coming on as well, and you love watching sports. I want to encourage you to take a 30-minute walk before your game comes on. Yes, take a 30-minute walk. Just go in your neighborhood and walk. And the reason I'm encouraging you to do that, because it's going to get you hyped. It's going to get you hyped for your team. It's going to get you excited, and you're going to be thinking about your team while you're walking down that sidewalk, right? Getting ready for that game. You're getting yourself hyped, and you're going to get some steps in at the same time, right? And if you have a pet, take your dog with you, right? Take a 30-minute stroll. And if you can't do 30, do a minimum of 20 minutes before your game comes on to get some exercise in, and that's some additional steps. Because what happens is we move our body a lot when we are little. But as we age, we become more sedentary, and our body needs movement to be healthy. The more we move, the chances of our body being healthier is stronger, because your bones need that lubrication and that flexibility from your walking and your moving. And it helps your mind too. When you get out and you start moving around, your mind is not as sluggish. Maybe a brisk walk will help stimulate your mind as well. So I want to encourage you, number 2, is to move your body more, right? Especially if you're not moving your body at all now. A lot of times in your community, your local school, whether it's your middle school or your high school, will have a track outside of the school where the school activities might take place. And during the day, sometimes that track is vacant while the kids are in school, and they allow you to go and just walk around that track. Just walk around that track. And maybe you haven't been exercising in a long time. So day 1, you're going to walk around there one time. Want to say, today, I'm just going to do one full lap, right? And then the next day, maybe you do a lap and a half. And then the next day, maybe 2 laps. Just remember, whatever that you do to take better care of yourself and to practice more self-care and self-love, you have to take it in small incremental steps so you don't get overwhelmed, right? And so you don't quit, right? Because a lot of times when we get overwhelmed, we procrastinate and we don't take any action because we feel like it's going to be too much, right? And self-care and self-love can just start with the little small things that you do. So the next thing I suggest is to floss daily. At least once or twice a day, floss your teeth. Now, I'm going to tell you why I suggest that. I went to the dentist one day and I was getting my teeth cleaned. And one of the things that she was doing was she was flossing my teeth. And she said, my gums were bleeding too much. And she said, "Are you flossing?" I said, "No, I'm not flossing." And she said, "That's what your gums are bleeding because you're not flossing enough." She said, "Do you realize that if you start flossing your teeth, it could save you from getting dentures when you're older?" I said, "What?" She said, yes, flossing your teeth helps to reduce the chances of you having gingivitis. And so from that, her just taking that 1 or 2 minutes to talk to me and educate me on the benefits of flossing my teeth, ever since then, I floss my teeth twice a day. And I do it because I don't want to get dentures. And I don't want my gums to bleed. And so flossing your teeth twice a day, they have these little, I get them from the Dollar Tree, these little new tooth flossing sticks that has the floss on there. And you just stick them in between. I carry them in my purse. So I want to encourage you to floss in the morning and floss at night to reduce your chances of having bleeding gums and also to reduce your chances of getting dentures as you get older. And if you have children, I want to encourage you to floss with your children so they can create the habit of flossing their teeth young. And they don't have to wait till they get in their 30s like I did to start flossing their teeth, right? Because the younger they are, the greater the chances of them continuing that habit as they grow into adulthood. So the fourth thing I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to just try to be a little bit more positive. A lot of us watch news every day, right? Have you ever asked yourself, news in the sense of negative things being reported, not Black USA news talking about successful Black business owners. We're talking about that news that's on TV, on the main channels that comes on and reports a lot of negative things, right? Have you ever asked yourself, who started news? Who started reporting things that were negative around the world? Whose idea was that? And why didn't they decide to report things that were positive, right? Why didn't they go around the world and start looking for things that were positive, like Black Business Network does on a regular basis, right? We're looking for positive Black business owners that come on and share how amazing things they're doing in the world and sharing their gifts. Why isn't that happening all over the world? Why aren't we going and finding the positive things that all races are doing, right? And so the fourth thing I want to encourage you to do is just try to be a little bit more positive and not focus or be so fearful about the negative things that are happening that you can't control. A lot of the things that they show on the regular news, you can't control that stuff. But yet you're stressing out and fearful about it, and it's causing your blood pressure to go up, and you can't control it. So I just want you to pay attention to your self-talk. Pay attention to the things that you focus on. And I want to encourage you to try your best to try to focus on more blessings, more positive things. If you want to watch the news, watch the Black Business Network more so you can see Black African American people doing positive things in the world, and let that be your new news to encourage you to stay lifted and more positive, okay? The fifth thing I want to encourage you to do is laugh more. I remember when I was little, the one thing that I remember about my father was his laugh. I didn't know him very well, and he wasn't very prevalent in my life. But for the short period of time that I did hear him talk and hear his laugh, it was his laughter that I remembered. It was so big and it was so boastful and so wonderful. And I have that same laugh now. It's very loud. and when I have a belly laugh, it's a lot, draws a lot of attention. But I want to encourage you to watch some funny movies, pull up some comedians that you enjoy and put them on and just allow them to support you in laughing, because what happens is when you laugh, it promotes positive endorphins in your body, which cause you to feel better. And some of that laughter can actually, there's scientific fact that it can heal your body. It can heal your body just from you laughing and having a positive mindset. And how amazing is that it starts from the inside, right? How you feel, that laughter. that the inside, how you think, those thoughts, the self-care, the action that you take to take care of yourself. So I want to encourage you to lighten your load, right? Be a little bit more happier and jovial and find these jokes and um, stories on TV and movies and videos that make you laugh and feel good on the inside. Yeah. And the sixth thing that I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to be more thankful. A lot of times in life, we have a lot to be thankful for. And one of the first things that I do when I wake up in the morning, before I even put my 2 feet on the rug, is say, thank you, God. Thank you for a beautiful night's rest. Thank you for our beautiful home. Thank you for my wonderful and amazing husband. Thank you for my wonderful dog that's going to come over here and lick my face as much as she can until I tell her to stop. Thank you. We all have so much to be thankful for. So I want to encourage you to just take some time to practice on a regular basis being more thankful, more grateful, right? More in the mode of looking around in your life and your home and the people around you and just saying thank you. Especially if you have a caregiver, somebody's taking care of you on a daily basis, or maybe somebody does a little bit something extra special for you, brings you a Starbucks coffee or whatever it is, right? Just take a moment and say, thank you. Thank you. The more you say thank you, the more you laugh, the more you think positive, the more you're encouraged on a daily basis to feel your best by practicing self-love and self-care, the healthier you are going to be from the inside out. The seventh thing I want to encourage you to do is discovery. I want you to take some time to discover some things that you've always wanted to do that you've never done before. For me, I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Dubai and I want to stay there for 15 days. And I just want to enjoy the beauty of how they've taken a desert and turned it to a beautiful museum of big buildings and the biggest shopping mall in the world, right? That's on my list. And I discover it by going to YouTube and watching videos of Dubai because I can't get there right now. So one day I will go. But I go to YouTube and I look at videos of Dubai because I want to relish in the beauty of taking a place that was once a desert and creating sculptures that were just once a thought. I want to encourage you to discover some of the things that you may want to do that you have never done, but you've always wanted to do it. Oh, I've always wanted to go and paint. I've always wanted to create a sculpture. I've always wanted to go to that place and paint, some of those little cups and bring them back home and share them with my family. Whatever it is, whatever that discovery looks like. I've always wanted to live near the water and live near the beach. And guess where I live now? Near the water and near the beach. Been here 3 years. The happiest times and the happiest days are spent on that beach, walking the beach and enjoying the sunrise and enjoying the sunset. So I want you to discover 3 things that you've always wanted to do that you've never done. And I want you to allow yourself the opportunity to do them because you are worthy of having the things that you are here for. A lot of us are always giving. We're givers. We give, but we don't practice the art of receiving. And the art of receiving is an art. You have to learn sometimes how to receive because you're so used to giving. So as you discover some of the things that you want to do, ask yourself, what brings me passion? What am I passionate about? What have I always wanted to do that I haven't done? Where do I want to go that I've never been? Right? They're lifting a lot of the traveling restrictions now since COVID. So we're able to get back out and start doing some traveling, right? You also want to pay attention to when you're doing certain things, how you feel. How you feel. When I'm on the beach and I'm walking in the sand, I feel amazing. I feel at home. I feel like that's my sacred place, right? And I know that that brings me joy because of how I feel when I'm there. That's a great way for you to figure out, right, as to what you're doing when you're doing something. Is this something I want to continue doing based on how I feel? If you feel miserable, maybe you've been at a job for a long time and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? Figure out what you want to do, create a plan, and transition yourself to it. You can do that. Just take small steps, incremental steps. It's not too late. You're not too old. Come on, age is only a number. I want to encourage you to take the steps to put yourself in a position where you are happy. My sister is 60 years old and she called me a couple weeks ago and she said, I am leaving this job. I am so tired of doing this. I ain't doing it no more. And I said, bravo, sis. Bravo. You're not too old. And then we started talking about what it was that she wanted to do. And she's taking the steps now to move herself toward that. But she already left that job. I think as we become older and more mature, we start giving ourselves permission, right, to do some of those things that we may not have done in our younger years. And 8, the final thing that I want to encourage you to do, number 8, and I want to encourage you to forgive yourself. To forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for those things that may be in your past that you keep looking back at, that you feel guilty about, you feel shameful about, feel sad about, just makes you so unhappy when you think about them. I give you permission to forgive yourself. Let it go. That's the past. And the past does not serve you if you're looking back in it and it's keeping you stuck. Look forward. Look forward to where you're going. Look forward to how amazing you are. Look forward to discovering things about yourself that you never knew. Look forward to doing things that you've always wanted to do. Look forward to thinking positive about yourself. Look forward to taking some self-care actions and doing some things on a daily basis, right? To encourage you to feel better. Look forward to finding movies that make you laugh. Look forward to finding videos that make you laugh. Look forward to watching comedians that make you laugh. Just finding more joy in your life. And I give you permission to forgive yourself. Now's the time. And there's no coincidence that you're watching me today. I give you permission to forgive yourself. You're worthy. And we all made mistakes, right? When we were younger, and now we're older, we're more mature, we know better, we're doing better. And so forgive yourself. And as a bonus, I want to encourage you to forgive someone that you need to forgive. Maybe somebody did you wrong when you were younger. Somebody betrayed you. Somebody did something to you that was so bad. You have to forgive them, not for them. You have to forgive them for you. And that's an act of self-care, and it's an act of self-love. We have to forgive others for ourselves so we can move on, so we can stop thinking about those things, right? That bring us down, that make us sad, that make us shameful, right? Or feel like, we're stuck, we're not moving forward. No more. Shake it off. Look forward, right? And find something to replace those thoughts that you think about the person with that you haven't forgiven. Just say it. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. 3 little words. I forgive you, whoever that person is. And do it for you because you are worthy. You're very worthy of that. And so, just to recap, self care, self love is so important on a daily basis. You really have to take the time to think about you because no one else is thinking about you like you should be thinking about you. The number one rule is self preservation. Everybody's thinking about themselves. So you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be the one that encourages yourself, right? You have to be the one that takes the time to figure out, like, you may be thinking you wanted your parent to do things for you when you were growing up that your parent never did. You can't go back, but you are an adult now. You can do those things for yourself that maybe you wanted your parent to do. Like for me, I told you earlier, I love hugs. I'm a hugger, and I've always wanted to receive a lot of hugs. So now I give hugs because for me, giving hugs is a symbol of the love and embracing people. And it's amazing how it can really make a person's day. So I want you to take some time to meditate. Meditate on the things that I have shared with you tonight because a lot of what I've said can change your life. It could change your health, change your mindset, and more positive things can start happening in your life just as a result, right, of a lot of the things that I've shared with you. A lot of times, I'll grab my husband and we'll go watch a comedy because we've been working so long or working hard or working long hours. And it's amazing how refreshed you could feel if you just take a few moments to watch a comedy, right? Something that makes you feel good or makes you laugh, right? Or watch a comedian, one of your favorite comedians. Chris Tucker is one of my favorite. He's just a big ball of laughter for me when I watch him. And so I do want to encourage you to meditate on what I've shared with you tonight because a lot of times we're so busy focusing on other people that we don't have the time and the space, right, to take the time for ourselves. And I'm going to give you a bonus tonight. Have you ever thought about writing yourself a love letter? Have you ever thought about that? Writing a love letter to the younger you, your 10-year-old. What would it look like if you sat down and you decided, I'm an adult now. What would I tell my 10-year-old self? What would I say to him? What would I say to her? How would I encourage him or her? And I really want you to. Margot says that she reinvented herself. Yes, you have to reinvent yourself, Margot. You have to, especially as we get older. We have to allow ourselves to experience the life that we would like to experience because nobody's going to give it to you. You got to take it, honey. And when you reinvent yourself, bravo to you, Margot. Bravo to you. When you reinvent yourself, you just find yourself being a lot happier. So, Margot, what letter would you write to the younger version of yourself? What would you say? If you sat down and you wrote a love letter to the 10-year-old self, how would you encourage yourself at that age, right? I know I would say a lot of things to myself to tell myself to learn how to take a deep breath when I'm feeling frustrated and to say, it's not that serious, Linda. It ain't that serious, okay? Things don't always have to turn out like you want them, but they're always working for your good. I would tell my 10-year-old self that. To try to be more allowing of things to just flow like they want to flow and not try to control them so much. I don't know where I learned that I had to control everything, but I release it. I don't want to control everything. I want to delegate more as I get older. I want to have help. I want people to come and help me get things done. So what would it look like if you wrote a love letter to yourself? wrote a love letter to your 10-year-old self, and then a love letter to yourself today. That is a really inspiring activity to give you an opportunity to think, right? A lot more positive about yourself and to take an action, self-care, right? To be more positive about yourself. What would you say to yourself? Think about that. What would you say to yourself? Right? My husband writes me love letters all the time. And I love it when I come in the bedroom and I see them on the side of the table. It's such a gift and it's priceless. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It's better than roses because I'll always have his letters forever, right? The roses die, the flowers die. But that love letter that came from his heart will always be with me. I will always have it on that piece of paper to be able to go back and look at and read and enjoy and remember and cherish. So I want to encourage you to write a love letter. That's your homework. That's your homework from today's show, is to write a love letter to your 10-year-old self. Write a love letter to yourself today. Not just one page. Make it more than one page, 2 or 3 pages. Really take the time with a nice cup of tea or a nice cup of coffee and just really relish in what it feels like. What it feels like to love yourself. To love yourself from a love letter. My love letter to self. And so I'm just going to recap as we wrap it up the things that I shared with you tonight to encourage you to do a better job of loving on you. Drink more water, increase your water intake, and make sure that you don't go overboard. If you're not drinking any water right now, drink 8 ounces tomorrow. If you're drinking 8 ounces, increase it to 16 ounces. Just take a small incremental step to give your body more water because we need it for our brain. And then our body is made mostly of water as well. So that water gets in there and it needs to be able to move things around. You want your blood, if you see it under a microscope, things to be moving around. You don't want it to be sluggish, right? That's where disease resides, in that sluggish body that doesn't have a lot of water in it. That was number 1. Number 2 was to move your body. Get up and move your body around a little bit more. Whether it's a walk in your neighborhood, down to the block and to the stop sign and back, or around the block, right? I encourage you to move your body more. Floss Daily, that's my own personal one. Floss your teeth once or twice a day to keep yourself from having gingivitis and also having dentures at a later date. Stay positive. Focus on your thoughts. Try to stay encouraged and think things that bring you joy, right? I know it's hard sometimes. You might be surrounded by people that are negative. A lot of times, if a person has a good experience and then they have a bad experience, most likely they're going to tell you about the bad experience, right? As opposed to the good one. But I want to encourage you to try to just be a little bit more positive and watch your thinking, watch your thoughts, right? And change those thoughts about yourself that are negative, but also change the thoughts that are negative about other people. Most of us are doing the best that we can in that moment. Sometimes it may not look like it, but a lot of us didn't have training, and we really are doing the best that we could do in that time, right? Laugh often. Find some channels on the TV to get you laughing, some movies to get you laughing, find some videos to make you laugh. You can find stuff on YouTube to make you laugh. You can find things on social media. TikTok is great for making you laugh. They have these little skits on there. Whatever it takes, I encourage you to laugh every day. Find something that makes you laugh every day and go for those belly laughs. When's the last time you've had a laugh that was so good deep down in your belly that you were just like, oh, your stomach hurt? Those are the best laughs ever, those big belly laughs. And then practice being thankful. just being thankful. Thankful for your life, thankful for breath in your body, thankful for your family, your spouse, your health. Our health is our wealth, right? Thankful that you can walk, breathe. Thankful for the sun that shines, the beautiful moon that's shining on me right now through this window. When I look up, it's just so much to be thankful for. And being thankful is an art. You really have to practice it. You got to practice the art of being thankful. Yes. And so the next thing I share with you is to forgive. Forgive. Just allowing yourself to forgive. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Not for anybody else other than you. Anytime you forgive, you do it mainly for yourself, for your health, for your sanity, forgiveness. And then lastly, your homework assignment is to write a love letter to your 10-year-old self. Write a love letter to yourself today. And just take some time. Make it more than one page. Get a cup of tea. And just really relish in what you would tell your 10-year-old. Really relish in what you would tell yourself today, right? To encourage you to be happy and to feel good about yourself. Write yourself a beautiful love letter. Yes. And then allow yourself to go back and read it as often as you need to know that you are loved. To know that you are loved. So I want to thank you for joining me today. This was my first show on Fridays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so I want to thank you for coming to the show. First of all, I am Dr. Linda Mitchelle, also known as Dr. CMOS, because I'm a CMOS specialist. And we'll see you next week on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember that I am Black business. From the time I wake up to the time I sleep, I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Please tune in for more shows about Black business. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. Oh yeah, I am Black business.